Sweet. We are live. What's up, Mike? How are you, man?
Yeah, hey Harry, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm happy we're doing this again. It's been
Yep.
a couple of years. Like we were talking about a little before this.
Right. It's been a while. It's been a while,
Yeah.
man. So it's good to be able to connect again on like a live stream, although we talk offline as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's cool too, because like you're more familiar with like the live stuff, but I'm excited to kind of like editing a video takes a long time. So I'm just excited to talk about kind of like a movie that is and we kind of both were throwing around this idea, but like the main idea is wanting to talk about a movie that has critical acclaim. Like, I mean, there's few IPs as big as Indiana Jones, right? So it's like this is
Right.
a movie everyone in every country in the world probably has heard of, right? So the idea is that me and Mike both have not seen it recently. I hadn't seen it recently. Probably it's been 15 years since I've seen the movie. And Mike, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you haven't seen it at all till now, right?
I so this is the thing. Until I go back and watch the second and the third one, like I can't remember if it was this one I watched like about 10 more years ago, about maybe same as you, like 15 years ago, or it was a different entry. I generally can't remember. I've played the
Okay.
Lego games, and the Lego games do a great job of recapping what happened with a bit of a goofy kind of tone to them.
Yeah.
Um, so I'd like to say for now, I have seen it, but it's been that long. I generally don't remember like anything about it.
Okay. So it's pretty much like I feel like for a series like that, it's like as fresh as you're gonna get, pretty much for two people. So I think
Hmm.
that's pretty good. And yeah, the idea is like if you were to watch this movie now for the first time, and me and you have talked about this offline, like when people highly recommend a movie all the time and it's, oh, you have to watch this, and they just keep building it up. It's like you expect something from it, and then sometimes you watch it and sometimes it lives up to it. And sometimes you're like, I think I'm missing the thing that makes people love this so much.
Yeah.
So the idea is we're coming into this fresh. We just watched it. We watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first Indiana Jones, and we're both going to share a little bit about like what we actually thought about it. Like our first impressions. I think we can kind of go into like our like deeper thoughts. Obviously, there will be spoilers because I think we're good at this point on that. but uh, but I appreciate Mike. Thank you for coming on, man. I think this will be fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm looking forward to this discussion, and I'm looking forward to seeing any discourse that causes in the comment section of anyone who's watches live or after the fact as well, because I'm sure there's going to be some.
Oh yeah, I think this is a little controversial. Scottish Geek Guy says, "Howdy, fellas. What's up,
Hey,
man?"
Jimmy. Hope you're doing well, man.
Says the OG trilogy is goated, but Last Crusade is my favorite. Think it was the first indie I saw in the cinema.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Is
Uh,
that? I'm gonna sound really bad. Is that the third one? Last Crusade.
yes,
Okay. Yeah,
because you got
I
because you
remember
got
liking that
Temple
one
of
the most.
Doom, second one, right?
What's that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, Last Crusade, I think when I originally watched the trilogy, was my favorite as well. I
Mhm.
think that's how I felt at the
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
It's the one. Is that Sean Connery, right?
yeah, that's how
Like,
I remember it. Yeah,
I think it's the one where he's his dad or something, right? I could be wrong.
I think so. It's been so
Okay.
long. We might have to do that movie too. I don't know. But
Okay.
I remember Sean Connery being in it because like the other one is the one with like the Mayans and like the like rituals and stuff. I remember that, like the
Yeah.
eclipse and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, he says Crusade is third. Doom takes place before Raiders, but was a second released. Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't remember like the movies like really like at all. So yeah,
Yeah,
Jimmy, you're schooling me and Harry here, I think. So
yeah, we're coming in fresh on this.
right.
Indie Trilogy isn't as generation spanning as BTTF. Showed my kids Raiders. They were meh. I think
Yeah,
that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today, man.
yeah, yeah. BGF, Back to the Future.
Yeah. I think like,
Yeah,
so I'll
like
just
yeah,
say this before we even get into it. For me, when I watched Back to the Future, I loved it instantly, and I'll never forget my feeling about it. And I even like the other two a lot. And I don't even need to like I know how much you like Back to the Future.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But before I get into it, man, like you just recently finished watching it. What are like your initial impressions of Raiders of the Lost Ark? You went in fresh, no pre-bias about it. What was your initial impression?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've got anything there you can check online, or maybe you might know top of your head. What year was this released?
It was in the 70s. 81. 81.
81. Wow. Okay.
I thought it was
Okay.
earlier than that.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was later, but fair enough. Um. So yeah, I think. Okay. So for me, I've got like two mindsets on this movie after like finishing it. And for any context, before the stream, I finished watching this movie like 30 minutes before we went live. So it's pretty fresh. And I don't know about you, Harry, so I'm going to be interested to hear your thoughts. So for me, I'm two minds about it. So firstly is the mindset of going back to the 1981 when this was released. Now, at the time, I can easily see this being groundbreaking, like something completely different, pushing the barrier on the age rating. Because at least here in the UK, for some time, I'm not sure if it is now, but it was PG rating, which for us means parental guidance to watch the movie. Basically, if you haven't got a parent with you, you can't watch it. Nowadays, it might be rated maybe a 12, which means you have to be 12 years old or again with an adult to watch the movie, or you can't. Now,
Okay.
I think for 80, like 81, like compared to like standards of nowadays, of like, you know, like PG-13 for you guys, right? You don't get that kind of level of violence and effects of like what this delivered. Like especially in the third act with like, the bad guy, what was he called again? He was called Arnold Tout, the like the Nazi Germany bad guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, like when that effect, like when he gets his face melted and stuff, I was like, that would not be in a kids movie today.
It's a good
Uh,
point. I didn't think about this. Yeah.
yeah, so like I think like so for me, this is like where the first mindset comes in. So in the 80s, like that was probably like revolutionary. It was groundbreaking. It also made sure that Harrison Ford wasn't just stereotyped as Han Solo, where like a lot like Mark Hamill, right? Great actor, but primarily he's known for Luke Skywalker, and
Right.
that's it. Unless maybe people know like the Joker voice, right? But if you haven't heard that, you know him as purely just Luke Skywalker, right? And Carrie Fisher as Leia, right? And they're
Yeah.
defined by those characters. But Harrison Ford was able to kind of break that Hollywood mold of just being Han Solo, but also create a new icon of Indiana Jones. So, like the music's great by John Williams. Like it's got like so many positives about it. The fact that I can imagine in the 80s, they were like, whoa, like what have I just seen on the screen?
Yeah. All
You
the
know?
practical effects, all that stuff. Yeah.
Right, practical effects, set pieces, like locations of like in the desert, for example, and like the stunts with the vehicles, like the vehicle chase as well, and when the Indy's on the horseback, like there's so much thrown at audiences. Like it's entertaining, it's fast paced, it keeps you on your toes. It's not going to be long until you get like an action set piece. So in that aspect, like in the 80s, I can imagine when it released, like everyone was like, "Wow, what have I just watched?"
Yeah.
And then the second mindset, and I'll try and make this a bit shorter. The second mindset is okay, like what does Mike think in 2025? Watching it, I'm going to take it as kind of like a first time watch, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate the aspect. Modern, like, watching it now, I appreciate the practical effects, as you said, the locations. like the action set pieces, like where it's still impressive. Like some of them are still really good, like holds up until today. But I do feel as if sometimes the pacing's a little bit too fast for like we kind of move from like one set piece to another location to another location until we get to like the desert scene at the end where we spend the longest time. And I was like, right, okay, we're now starting to build an environment, have our characters stuck in this environment and focus on this one set place. Whereas before it was like, okay, so we're in the archaeology like university study kind of thing for a little bit, and then okay, now we're on to somewhere else, then we're on to somewhere else, and
Yeah,
it
and
just
there's like
felt
a
as
new
if
character at each spot too, is something I noticed.
there was
Yeah,
like several new characters or several new groups introduced, and it was just way too much
yeah,
uh, for what it needed to be. Like it was still a good, entertaining time, but I did, and obviously, of course, some of the effects don't hold up. But I mean, it is like 40 years old plus, so it's
yeah,
bound to, right?
right.
Like there's some effect in Back to the Future when like the fire goes through Marty's jeans, and his jeans are on fire, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my initial thoughts. What about you?
No, I agree with a lot of what you said, and I think like it's important to make that distinction that you made. Like if I'm coming at it from I am a person in 2025, I've never heard anything about this movie and I just watch it. That's going to be a different perspective than, hey, this movie probably changed a lot of things. It came out in 1981 is what we said, and it's to be appreciated for certain things and looked at that way. So I agree with that because it's hard to to say 100%, and pigeonhole yourself in one of those perspectives because then you're missing something. So I agree with you. From
Yeah.
that 1980s perspective, I think you're right. It's crazy if you think about it, right? Like you're coming off the back of a lot of movies in the 70s, like these huge franchises. Like I was kind of looking into it earlier, and just to refresh my memory, I mean, you have The Godfather, you have Taxi Driver. Those are just two that I watch all the time. They're distinctly the 70s. And it was like really dark, and like I can imagine kind of in like 81 feeling like this is really cool because this is like just a hero story, right? It's an action adventure movie.
Yeah.
And, he's clearly the good guy. There's clearly the bad guys, the Nazis, and there's something like maybe refreshing probably around that time too when it came out. Um Also, like, yeah, dude, the set pieces are crazy. I mean, Steven Spielberg directed it, so I don't think it's any surprise that it's well directed for sure. But I will say this, even in 81, I wonder if people thought this. I don't really know. But I wonder if you felt this way, Mike. Like I was looking at it in and I thought this doesn't feel like Spielberg directing as much as some of his other films. Like
Hmm.
maybe part of it was the pacing that you mentioned, but part of it just felt rushed or imperfect compared to some of his other stuff, and not even necessarily always in a bad way, but just in like the style that it was made in. I wouldn't watch it and be like, this is a Spielberg movie. The way maybe some
Yes.
others. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I get that as well. I feel that could come down to a little bit by the story by George Lucas.
Oh,
Um,
that's right.
because I felt a lot of like Star Wars references or a few like Star Wars scenes or moments were like for example, when Marion's got to wear like the sexy dress to dinner. I was
Yeah.
like, that's just Princess Leia, but with a dress, right?
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
of course, obviously, the bad guy comes in with that looks like BDSM kind of equipment, but he turns it into a coat hanger, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But again, I felt like that was like Princess Leia, like Jabba the Hutt kind of scene.
That's a good point. Yes. I mean, I forgot about the George Lucas part, but it makes perfect sense that he helped write the story, right?
Yeah,
Um,
so I feel like you got a great point though. Like I do feel as if right, Steven Spielberg is the one who massively, sorry, was captured on the camera, but because the story wasn't by him and it was by George Lucas and I can't remember the other person, but I think it was two writers at least who
yeah,
stole it.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Like I feel as if like maybe George Lucas, I could be wrong. I haven't read the trivia. I generally don't know, but I feel like maybe George Lucas was just maybe like intercepting in there, right? Like the guy who just come off Star Wars, bear in mind, right? Like not
Right.
2 years before, and like he's like, and of course, I mean Spielberg had like Jaws, right? Like I get it, but Star Wars and Jaws, there's no comparison really.
Right.
So I feel almost as like maybe George Lucas was there in the background to kind of go to your point, was maybe like, Spielberg, okay, like that's good, but like try this, right? This worked for Star Wars, this worked for Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
You
like a
got Han
formula.
Solo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this formula kind of works, or
Yeah.
yeah, definitely yeah, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. I bet you there's a lot of influence with it. I don't know for sure either, but and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, like it's definitely just a sign of when it came out and it's kind of cool. But I will say, like, when I'm watching it, I felt like if I'm watching it from me now, like the first time,
Yeah.
I totally noticed the pacing problems, and I couldn't tell if it was because you said too fast. Like maybe that's what it was. I felt like this is gonna be like a hot take, but I feel like the opening was so good,
Yeah.
and it was so good, and it set like this like tone that I kind of thought would like stay, and then it kind of stayed into the second act. And then I felt like when we get into the third act, like things are just kind of like, I don't want to say falling apart, but it felt like this pace that was created at the beginning with this crazy set piece. He's escaping and the boulder rolling after him, and they still like things still reference this stuff because it's so iconic.
Right.
Does anyone reference like the Nazi submarine and then that like weird like part where he's like somehow swam in the middle of the ocean across to it? And like, I don't know, like it's just kind of
No.
campy. Like it gets a little bit more like that, which I kind of thought cheapened it a little bit. But like if I just give it my overall, I just watched it, I enjoyed it. But certain things about it, yeah, like to kind of to your point, like I think the pacing, like I think that's part of the problem. And I also felt like there's too many characters with like no explanation. It's like, oh, this guy that, granted, I think I read this somewhere that they knew they were going to make multiple movies and some of the characters return. So, maybe it was just kind of like setting it up as well. But I think as like a viewer of the first movie independently, it's just like, oh, okay, a new character just spawned in. Okay. Oh, another character. Okay. How does he know this guy? I don't really know, but he seems to be his friend. Okay. And it just kind of kept happening, and they kept adding villains and then people associated with that villain that just happened. I don't know. I mean, that was kind of my initial thing. I have one major problem with the movie, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't know. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you feel like it's kind of like I'm nitpicking? I don't know.
No, you know what it is? I completely agree.
Okay.
You're right. So I agree. Firstly, like the opening scene's great. I was like, wow, we're like thrown into this immediately.
Yeah.
Right, it's great. And correct me if I'm wrong, but after that first scene, does Alfred Molina return? Like he betrays Indy, and did he die? I generally don't know if he just went missing. I generally don't know.
I don't know. I was confused on that because I think he meets with like those army guys, right? Or
Yeah.
or maybe it was someone else who's like, oh, he's dead. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure,
don't know.
but yeah, like that was a cool opening scene. Again, as you said, the boulders reference nowadays. It's iconic, right? It's great. I agree.
Yeah.
I think going back to a comment that Scottish Geek guy said just before about Indy and Back to the Future. So I think the problem is, like touching on to your question, Harry, about spanning Back to the Future and stuff. It's the appeal for kids. So, like, what I mean by this is when you're saying about the slower pace and then it gets going again and that kind of stuff, is so Back to the Future has a lot of characters, but you get time to care about each one of them, like Biff, George, Lorraine, Marty, Doc, Jennifer. That's at least 7, 8 characters there already. But you care about their fates and what happens, or Biff, the bad guy, and you care about them. In this, you care about Indy because he's cool. and everyone else though, like the villains, they're all right. Um, but again, because they've got so many characters, like John Rhys Davies is here, and I just feel like it's kind of wasted, really.
Yeah.
And as you said, if they were in talk about doing more movies in the first one, is this where this first started? This problem of having trilogies not giving us full development until we get to part three, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. We know all about that now in 2025. That's like a tale as
Right,
old as time now. Yeah.
right.
I think
But
you're right too about that, like being a little bit of a like it, like you said with Back to the Future, they do it so well. I mean, heck, like not only do you care about them in present day, but then you get to go back and see like Marty's parents as like high school kids, and like
right,
you literally like see a multi-layered thing with each character and why I'm supposed to care about them. I don't even need to be told why. I just do, right?
right,
Um
right.
definitely know what you mean, and like obviously like a big part of this movie too is like the relationship. And real quick, I want to say hi to Jason. What's up, man?
Hey, Jason, what's going on, man? What's
Been a
going on?
while.
But one thing I just want to quickly add in, Harry, not to like cut you off, just one thing
Yeah.
I want to quickly add to your point is just again a reference Back to the Future because Jimmy mentioned it, but I think it's a great analogy between what he said about the kids aspect of which one they enjoyed more. Is Back to the Future, it's fun, it's got like great, special effects, it's about time travel, and it's cool to see the difference of right, the parents are losers, and then when they're younger, what they were like. Right, so it's got that entertaining appeal about the DeLorean, time travel, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I almost feel as if to an extent you're appealing to a certain audience who likes history, who likes archaeology, geography, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you do, great, you're gonna love this.
That's
But as
fair.
a kid, if I was to ever have a kid and introduce them young to this, I can't imagine they would sit there and be like, "That's amazing," like the eyes fixed to the screen. The action sequences, yeah, but then there's a lot of
Yeah.
downtime that's just about archaeology talk. And really, I love history, but it wasn't enough to be like, wow, this is like so riveting. I'm
Yeah.
like blown away by like this exposition scene. Like give me more of this, right? Like I didn't feel that.
Yeah, no, that's fair, man. And I was thinking the same thing. If I had a kid that I was like trying to get them in the movies and showing them that, it would be a problem. And that's like the same way I felt when I first watched it. I was bored, to be honest, through a lot of it.
Mm.
One thing Back to the Future does though is it has a good coming of age story where the characters are all imperfect,
Right.
and it also has a compelling narrative that is driven the entire time. Whereas with this, I think Indy's really cool. Everyone thinks Indy's cool, and that's like what you were like. If you think, okay, what do I know about Indiana Jones? He's really cool. He's a badass. He defies all odds. He's like does crazy stunts. It's cool, but like what other than the fact that girls definitely was underage when they were together in that relationship. But besides that, like what else does he really do wrong, right? Like I don't really even
Mhm.
know. Like I don't really know who he is other than he's a master archaeology guy and he's a badass action hero basically. That's it,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like there's a bit of lacking character development to him because also how come he's like this geeky archaeology guy who's a professor at a university to then all of a sudden this being this badass knows how to punch, knows how to fight, knows how to use there's just questions there for
Yeah,
me.
he's a
I felt like how does he know
sharpshooter,
this?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know
I
in
think
America, of course, your gun laws are different, right? Like probably back when it was still the same thing, right? But you're right. Like how is
yeah.
just such a sharp shooter, and also it kind of feels as if he's kind of like a Clark Kent. Like the archaeology's got like his hair swept over to the side, and
Yeah, the glasses on.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point too. And I think like to give it credit, right? Because we're being a little hard on it, and I think we're being fair. But to kind of go in the other direction just a little bit, the other things about it, maybe the focus was on some things that people would pay more attention to at the time. like you said, like the effects might not hold up now, but think of like then you're watching this for the first time, and like it's impressive now, even that they're all practical. But the fact that they pulled this off, and there's some computer graphics, but most of it is like 99% practical, and like it's super. It's just crazy to think like people who watched it then probably never saw anything like it.
Right.
So, in all fairness, trying to be fair about all the criticism, it's like this criticism, I think, is more from a now perspective. I don't know if people then would have said these things because maybe a kid would have sat through it because a kid never saw anything like that. That's the thing that I
Right.
wonder is for a kid that has never been exposed to something crazier. And I think that's why Back to the Future holds up better because it doesn't rely as much on just super quick cuts and action every second. And all the dialogue and the exposition is interesting. I think that's like a huge difference that makes it stand out versus like this movie where you can appreciate it for what it is, but if you're really watching it for the entertainment value of today, how does that really hold up for a kid?
Right.
You know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Other thing I wanted to say very quickly was the relationship in the movie. I found it to be really weird, and I felt like it was like the main, because you were saying like a lack of character development. I don't know if you felt the same way, but like the main character development in my mind, if I had to really sit back and think, okay, what happened that was like significant for him, was that like the mending of that relationship and kind of like alluding to some things that happened in the past that he maybe treated her unfairly or something.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the main growth. But I felt like the foundation that relationship was built on was so like out of like left field and just felt like kind of weird, to be honest. That's how I felt about it. I don't know about you, man. I mean, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's one of those again because this goes from like location to location to location. And it does that a lot. We then get introduced to Marion, where I would say for me is kind of the first pivotal point in the movie, as such. Besides the beginning, where he's
Yeah,
like, right, he's got to find that piece that Marion has,
that
and he finds out it
amulet
right,
or whatever.
right, right. He's got to find out where that is, and it turns out it's with his ex partner or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, but again, you're right. It's referenced in some quick dialogue to be like, "Oh, it's been 10 years," like Indiana Jones. Nothing ever good happens when he's around to me, or whatever, right? So kind of like a toxic relationship, I guess, to an extent.
yeah,
Um, but you're right. Like we don't know the crux. We don't know. Okay, like how did they get together? Like is she severely underage? And if she is, like, what the hell's that about?
yeah. I think she was honestly.
Right.
Yeah,
It kind of implied it.
yeah,
But again, it doesn't give you really any explanation because the movie's too busy with being like, right, well, let's introduce the Germany Nazi bad guy in this situation. Okay, let's get Indian Marion to have like a quick reunion moment, and then we're on to the next scene, and then we're on to the next one.
yeah,
And I don't know, like so, for example, like Star Wars, right? Because we're talking about this is a George Lucas story.
yeah,
At least there was some kind of chemistry being built with like Han Solo and Leia at the time. May
yep,
have not been many scenes, but there was still like prominent. It was still there, and it was built up in that first movie before it expands onto the further ones.
yeah. No,
Whereas
you're
this, I
exactly right.
felt like it was just like tiny little snippets. And I'm sure if I watched the trilogy, might by the end of it, might be like, right, that it worked out to be a great story in the end.
Yeah,
But if you're primarily just watching this one movie only, it doesn't give you a lot.
yeah. No, I'm with you, and I think it's a fair criticism because if you only watch a New Hope, you feel that chemistry even in that movie by itself. In
Mhm.
my opinion, so it's definitely fair. I don't think they really built on it, especially considering the fact that it is it's the main plot device or the main character development device that's used
Mhm.
to like make what's happening significant. I mean, otherwise most of the events could have happened regardless. you know, and that's kind of how I looked at it. Um, Real quick, I don't want to ignore people.
So,
Um, yeah, it
okay.
would be 12 AFD classified today.
Well,
What is
actually,
that?
so that would be like your PG-13.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if it would be that age range. I think it would be higher because of the amount of blood. Number one, the fact that you got like melting flesh.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah, it is like it's really dark. It's not like it's great. Like you look back now, you're like, wow, they went really dark.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would get a higher age rating nowadays because of just that alone. Like how often do you see a PG-13 movie and you see loads of blood splatter and melting flesh? You don't.
No, yeah, and they usually avoid blood in general, I
Right.
think. And then on top of
Right.
that, like I mean, maybe this is coming from a different angle, but like how often do you see like Nazi flags? Like I feel like even
Right.
just that, it would be like that ain't in this movie, you know? I don't
That,
know.
right. I agree.
You
I
know.
agree.
Jason says it's interesting that Raiders of the Lost Ark got nominated for Best Picture and Back to the Future did not. We need more popcorn flicks like these in the Best Picture category. I did not know that. That's actually crazy.
No. I mean, I can understand because again, it's more. I don't know. Maybe at the time it was a bit more universal appeal, right? Because like if you think of Indiana Jones, you think of it being like a staple for kind of action adventure movie.
Yeah.
As you said, like the boulder scene, the snakes, the fire, the planes, all that stuff is like staples. What you see in a lot of action adventure movies nowadays, and even after this '81 movie.
Hmm.
Um, I'm surprised Back to the Future to get nominated though.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, it's going to sound a certain way. I don't really mean it this way, but I think Spielberg always gets kind of a few bonus points, I guess the
Mm.
best way to say it. Because I mean, he's an incredible director. So I think sometimes, like, you know, and it's not taking anything away from Zemeckis, you know, because I
Yeah.
think you could argue which is the better directed movie. I don't really know, but I just think there's something about Steven Spielberg who always gets a little bit of bonus points. I've just noticed that. I don't know. I don't know why.
Maybe it's because like he was one of the like people always say Jaws was the start of summer blockbusters, and
Right.
that was the Spielberg movie, right? So
Hmm.
he was helping movie theaters, and he's coined the term of a summer blockbuster. I mean, that's a term still used nowadays. You know,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And he's kind of, you know, they attribute that to him.
right?
You're probably right about that. And I mean, it's deserved too, right? I mean, it's not like
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not, but there's definitely like a little bit of favoritism, maybe. And that's okay.
Yep.
Raiders is definitely more of an action movie, while Back to the Future has more comedy and drama in it. Definitely more emotional moments in Back to the Future. Yeah, and that's kind of what we were touching on earlier is like, you know, a good movie probably balances all of that. Like I always like refer
Yep.
back to Lord of the Rings. Like when you watch Lord of the Rings, it's 3 hours long. It doesn't feel that long because it's so good. And they incorporate action, comedy, drama, romance. It has it all, and I think that's part of what makes it great. Um, I
Right.
think Back to the Future. For me, in my opinion, if I had to sum up this comment Jason made, as I agree, I think it would be Back to the Future is a little bit more of a balanced movie.
I think that's
Have
a
you heard?
fair point because you don't feel emotions watching Indiana Jones.
No.
At least I didn't get that from my experience. I didn't feel like, oh, Indy's in trouble, or like, oh, I really want him to be with Marion at the end of this. I didn't get that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think like I didn't ever worry something would happen to him because
Mhm.
I mean obviously I can metagame it a little bit and be like, oh well, there's more movies, but like in
Right.
general, the stakes didn't feel very high. Even though he's in a pit of snakes, you're like, okay, what's he gonna do with that whip to get out of here somehow, or what's he gonna like find? You know, I didn't ever feel like really suspenseful. I
No,
don't
I
know.
feel like in this, although it's an entertaining movie, and it's an easy popcorn movie, right, or like nachos kind of movie, right? I feel as if they eliminate any emotion and tension because, especially in this first movie, like how many times could they have killed Indiana Jones in reality and put like that problem to bed?
Yeah.
Like to give you a perfect example, there's a scene in like the third act where they've got Marion and they're going towards this tomb, and Indy's there on the cliff with a huge ass rocket launcher, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and you think, wow, okay, he's got a really big upper hand. You're not going to shoot him, right? Because he's going to let that rocket launcher drop. You're screwed, right? Okay, I was like, fair play. The guy's got an upper hand here.
Right. He's gonna kill
But then,
them. He's gonna destroy the Ark. Like he has the leverage.
right,
Yeah.
right. But then at the end of that scene, like those troops come from behind the cliff and like corner him, and I'm like, well, why would you not just shoot him? And then you've got the girl captive. You've got this, prized possession you're after. Who's gonna stop you? you
Right.
know?
Yeah, and he already kind of played his hand and showed that like he's not willing to blow up the Ark.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, if we shoot him, he might shoot the rocket. Like, yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, what? Like, there's no yeah. I don't think the Nazis were known for their sympathy. I mean, it's like I don't think they would have
Right.
let him live. They just tied him
No.
to a pole for some reason. Yeah, I don't really know. I agree with you. I noticed even in the first act, and this is a little bit of that George Lucas writing. Okay, now that you're saying this, you got me thinking because, everyone, the classic meme of like the stormtroopers can't hit anything. If you have like, yeah, you have Indy jumping like in the water, like holding on to the side of a plane. And then you have like all those like people, those like indigenous people just shooting these like poison darts at him and arrows. And like, or I think there was even another time where he was leaping somewhere with people were shooting him too. It just like magically nothing hits him every time.
Yeah. It was a scene like that. I think it was towards the second or third act where he jumps onto the horse. Yeah, no, it's in that like horse chase scene. He gets onto the horse and he jumps in between between all these escort vehicles, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Where they've
yeah,
got
yeah.
where they've got a big arc in the back of the trunk. And
Yeah.
at that point, he gets in between like the trunk and like another vehicle like here, right? So he's in the middle, like here. The trunk's like the trunk's here, he's here, then there's another enemy here. The other
Mhm.
enemy here starts to shoot him, but at this point he's starting to go to the side of this first truck. And all of a sudden their aim doesn't go towards like him like the gun, it goes directly to the back of the truck where they're like the bad guys are just sitting there. I'm like,
I
how
didn't even think about that.
like I'm like how have you missed him when he just went off to the side?
That's what I mean. Like it got campier, didn't it? Like the
Right.
beginning felt serious. Like it was crazy. The opening was so good, and then like yeah, I think we could think of more campy moments as well, like that happened later. It just kind of cheapened it a
Yeah.
little bit, you know.
I feel like with this movie, I feel like it was going for a Star Wars kind of vibe, like a fun, silly, whimsical, kind of like fun, entertaining movie. Right? And I think in that essence, it works.
Yeah.
But I think if you like really break down how we are and you think about those scenes about the guns, right? Like stormtroopers basically, and it's the terrible.
Yeah.
Um, like the lack of character development, the love interest just isn't really there. There's no emotional beats really to this at all. There's just a lot of flaws with this movie.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just can't overlook that, especially when we're watching it now. Like I can't rate this and be like, right, I'm going to take the 80s mindset and just apply it to this. I just can't do that.
No. Yeah. And that's I think it's fair because I mean it's not like we've never seen an '80s movie before. I mean we can start listing them off. I mean you watch Alien, you watch you watch any like Karate Kid. I mean all these
Yeah.
movies where it's like Back to the Future, they just hold up in a different way. I just yeah I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Jason says PG-13 movies didn't exist until after Temple of Doom. PG movies had some crazy stuff in them back in the '80s. Okay, that explains a lot. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Because yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty rough for PG.
Right. I would agree.
So I wanted to bring up one point to you, Mike. I've been holding this in. Okay, this is the thing. If there's like one thing, if I had to say, okay, what was your like? And I want to reiterate, just to be fair, I enjoyed this movie. I liked watching it. I could appreciate it for what it was. It was amazing how they made it. But there's one thing that is killing me, man.
Let it out, man.
I gotta let it out. I got to. The whole plot, okay? The whole plot, right, is that Indy is trying to get the Ark before this other guy gets the Ark. Okay? That's the whole point. If the other guy gets the Ark, the Nazis get the Ark. If the Nazis get the Ark, they're like, and they added some crazy lore to the Ark, but it worked for the movie. Like it supposedly like makes them like invincible and like destroys all their enemies. So it would be like bad on like so many levels if the Nazis got the Ark. Okay, so like that's the plot, right? That's pretty much it.
Right.
Okay. So then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second. The movie ends and like I'm kind of like recapping it in my mind, and I realize what would have happened in this movie if Indy literally didn't exist, right? If he did absolutely nothing. This is the conclusion I came to.
Okay.
Here's what would have happened. The Nazis would have had that guy looking for the Ark, and basically they would have all died anyway. And it would have caused a massive radioactive event. Actually, they might have even got it further in and killed Hitler with it. And then the US probably would have gotten it anyway. Right? Like, am I wrong? This is crazy.
It's a very valid point.
Like, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, the only difference that Indy made was he knew to close his eyes.
It's so true. It's so dumb. You're right, because they spend this whole movie like, we need to get this Ark, or ha, you're trapped there with the snakes. Good luck, Indy. You know.
Yeah.
And you're right. They activate this Ark they've been chasing the whole movie for, and they all die anyway.
Exactly. And like and that's the thing, like you start thinking of like the events of the movie and you're like, damn, like this is like Saturday morning cartoon shit. Like nothing mattered, man. Like everything just reset anyway, you know.
Right.
And that girl probably wouldn't have lost her bar either. Oh my god.
Because I mean, worst case scenario, they did that. And then, like, that Ark would have been buried somewhere in, like, dust or sand or something, you know? Or, like, rubble or wherever it was placed in the city, in the desert, wherever.
And maybe they would have never found it because they were digging in the wrong place. Indy, like, pointed them to it. Like, they're like, oh, who are those guys up on that hill digging up there? There must be something going on. And it's Indy finding the Ark.
You're right, yeah, because the whole time they're digging in the wrong place.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it was killing me. You see why I was holding this in, man? Like, I started thinking about it. I'm like, damn, like, it just drives me crazy because it's like, it's not like the first movie I've seen where that happens. Because, like, some movies, I think, it's so bad, man. I mean, all right, I'll be fair. Like, some movies, like this is a problem, okay? But like at least like if the character development is interesting enough, you're like, all right, but it was worth it because that was like cool. Like we got to see kind of like what happened and everything. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, okay, like it was about the journey kind of thing, whatever. That doesn't exist in this movie. Like literally, like half of it is about archaeology, and like he fucked up archaeology. I'm just saying, like. Like, it would have ended up better if he did nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And dude, like, did you notice as well, by the way, I've got to add this in.
Okay.
Speaking of this, right? Did you notice that at the end, those people, take the Ark, right? They're going to preserve the Ark in like a crate.
Yeah.
It's in like a big shipping container warehouse in the back somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. Like they didn't even use that shit.
They didn't use it. And I was thinking, I was like, it's in this huge shipping container warehouse at the back behind 5,000 Argonauts.
He found it so that the U.S. could put it in their garage.
Not even like a museum, not even on display, not to be like, oh, my journey was worth it for all of this.
Wow, the public can see the Ark finally.
It's like America's like, nah, it'll stay there.
That's a good point, man. Oh my god.
It's because it's like as the credits roll, the guy on the forklift just keeps trying.
Yeah, he's just pushing it like some poor old bastard is pushing it back there. Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah, he's just like I'm getting paid to torch this, okay.
Oh my god, man, you're right.
And like, what was the whole point of this? Because he brings that over to America to go in a storage containment warehouse.
I know. Like, oh, thank God the U.S. got it so they could put it back away. Like, if it would have just been in the ground, they achieved the same thing. Like, what happened? And you know what I found crazy too was like, why did the army give a shit about this if like they didn't even know about the lore? Like, because Indy and that other dude had to tell them, like, oh, this thing could destroy armies, and the armies guys were like, really? Oh shit, you better go get that thing. Like, they didn't know. You know what I mean?
And again, because they didn't know and they sent him on this quest, if he wasn't there, the Germans wouldn't have found it. Dude, I was dying on that scene where like the guy comes out and like Indy's guys are still like digging up on that little hill where like the Ark actually was, and he goes, "Oh, get everybody!" I started laughing because I'm like, dude, they would have never found it. Like they knew because they're like, "Oh, someone's digging up on that hill. We better go check it out." Right, and see the hill and the big smoke. Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, it's there."
And then Indy even got it out for them. They didn't even have to find a way to get it out.
Oh, it's so true.
It's pretty funny to look at it that way because yeah, it's bad. Like, and then here's the other question, right? If the U.S. is just putting it in like this like back storage shed or something, like what were they implying? Like, were they implying like that the US just has like all these like ancient artifacts they pretend are lost are just like in boxes? Like, why wouldn't you display it? Like, that doesn't make sense. And also I felt like I was going crazy at the beginning of the movie. Wasn't the whole premise that Indy wanted to get the Ark to put it in the museum?
Yeah,
that was the whole thing, right?
Yeah, like because he was making. Remember when he made the deal? And because he wanted like $2,000 or whatever currency it was. Was it to go to like Macedonia or somewhere like that?
Yeah.
Like he wanted the money because he was like, "Oh, I know how to get this back, but I need the money."
Yeah.
And then eventually, he has that meeting with the guys, and then they go over to that one guy goes over to his house and like, "Oh, hey, you can go get the Ark," and he's like, "Yeah, you're right." Because in that thing, he's like, "It's gonna go in the museum, isn't it?" and they're like, "Yeah."
The guy was like, "Yeah, for sure." Yeah. Like, yeah, and then like, did it ever get addressed? Like, unless I was like asleep, like I don't remember. Like, did they ever say why like it didn't go in the museum? Like, I don't.
I think from what I caught at the end, because it's like the final scene before we see the shipment container.
The old guy pushing it.
The old guy, yeah. It's literally just before that scene as the credits roll.
Okay.
It's he has a meeting with those army representatives or those ones from the US, and I think he does tell them like, look, like I thought it was going in the museum, but then they've bought it or they're keeping it for like US military.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
then
you're
he's
right.
and I think it's something like where he's like, oh, those idiots don't know what they're doing or they don't know what they've got in their hands or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. He comes out. He's like, oh, they're a bunch of bureaucrats or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's just like all that hard work, all those moments of nearly getting killed, to go in the shipment warehouse containment.
yeah. All for us to just assume it's better to be back there than in the ground, I guess. Oh
Yeah.
no, man. Yeah, like,
Oh
and that's
man.
like a problem. Like, I think I've asked you this before. Have you ever seen 11/22/63?
I don't
Never
think I've
seen it?
heard of that.
It's really good. It's really good. It's a
Okay.
Stephen King book that was made into like a short like a mini series.
Okay.
It's really really good, but it has that element to it where like you finish the whole thing and you're like, man, this guy did literally nothing. But the difference was the difference was it was fun to, like it was the journey, you know? Like there was
Right.
so much like that happened where you're like, man, this dude like changed and like he did like change some people's lives and like if you look at the journey there are like milestones where it
Mm.
makes it feel like it's worth it, you know? I
Right.
think the that feeling was supposed to come from the relationship in this movie. It was supposed to be like, oh well, yeah, those bureaucrats are a bunch of idiots, but hey, at least like let's go out and have fun now because we're like together again or something. Like I think that was supposed to be like
Yeah.
the payoff, but like neither of us cared about that relationship, you know? Like
Nah, man. And also, I thought like throughout this whole thing, like another thing I found funny, I was like, he's got to be one of the worst teachers ever. I'm like,
he's just
I'm like,
absent.
yeah. I was like, this guy has just been on a mission. He comes back into work for one day and he's sent off again. And I'm like, how are they explaining all of his absences? Oh, Mr. Jones is on another expedition. You
Mr.
know?
Jones is out killing Nazis,
Yeah.
class. Sorry. Like, yeah, that was
Like,
really
man, like,
weird.
yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking, like, I understand being an archaeologist, right? They could maybe make the point being like, oh, he's, an expedition came up, right? Or he's working in tandem with the museum or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I get it. But at the same time, it's like, well, why would he be a teacher? Because he's on all these expeditions.
yeah. Like, how do
When's
you
he
have a
got time to
job,
teach the kids? And then the
right?
kids are going to be like, sir, you're here like once a month, you know?
Yeah, oh, that was a long archaeological dig there, Mister
Right, right.
Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and then okay, I have to mention this. I know it's really weird, but like I know I only thought about it like after that I also kind of realized that like that girl I keep forgetting her name.
Marion?
Marion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When Marion and him meet and they kind of imply like she was like a kid or something, which makes it really weird. Then
Right.
like then I'm thinking back, I'm like, geez, man, like when he was in class and that girl had like I love you written on her eyelids, like I'm like, and he like couldn't like think of what he was trying to say. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's crazy, man. Like, why
Right,
were there multiple instances of this?
that's what I thought as well. Like when that happened in the class, I was like, he likes them young, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like,
And I know that's not a joke to be had, right? But I'm like, that's what they implied here.
well, yeah, like they're the ones implying it. Like we just noticed it. I'm like, what? Like it was
Yeah.
weird. Like it was weird how there was two like connecting events where you're like, okay, one of his character traits is he is into very young, possibly underage people. It's like what? Like it's kind of weird. Like was that okay in 81 or something? Like I don't even know.
But again, what's baffling is the fact that like this girl's got "love you" on the eyelids.
Yeah.
But like, how often is he at this university for her to notice him to be like, oh, hey, he's a hot guy, you know?
Right. Yeah, like, oh, the three times a year he's here to teach. I've decided I love him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
man, it's true.
it's true. I think, and if we're being fair, like probably some of that stuff wasn't meant to be taken that seriously, but it's just funny. It's just funny, man.
And I don't get me wrong, I agree. Like, I don't think it's meant to be taken seriously. I think, overall big pictures, like, right, look past all of that and just take the action movie for what it is. But man, like, again, like, anyone watching the movie today has to take into account the movie from like today's standpoint with a sprinkling of back when.
Right.
Like the filmmaking, I'd appreciate that stuff, man. But like again, the fact that like these Germans killed themselves at the end, the fact that the Ark ends in a storage containment warehouse, the fact that younger women seem to love him, right?
And he loves them back, probably.
Right. It's like, how can you overlook these big gaping flaws in the movie?
Yeah. When other movies from the time didn't do that. Like, it's not like, oh, well, it was
Right.
from 81, so it's fine. Like, I mean, yeah, it gets bonus points because it obviously was like massively influential, but yeah, it's hard to look past those like glaring things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
hard.
I agree.
I think Raiders was a callback to older action movies, says Jason.
Oh, okay.
Interest, like, I'd be curious to know which ones, like, because I don't know about you, Mike, but like before the 70s, like my knowledge of movies goes like very, very poor. Like I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know when they were released, but I'm guessing before the 70s. Like maybe like Clint Eastwood movies, like the spaghetti
Yeah.
western trilogy kind of thing. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that maybe, yeah. Or maybe like even I'm just trying to think like what would it be
Because
referring to?
the big action movies are like 80s, really, 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and I always thought like and this could be a limited perspective. I always thought that Indiana Jones like was the standard. Like it was like the
Right.
first of its kind. Like, it set like the tone for like this is an action adventure movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd be curious, Jason, if you're still here, I'd be curious to know kind of like which ones you're referring to, because you're probably right. Honestly.
Yeah, I think it's different because, like for example, like RoboCop. I guess you could kind of say it's action, but I know it's like a lot of sci-fi, really.
Yeah.
But you could kind of put that in action as well.
You could, and
I think was it 80, 79 maybe?
I was just about to say, like, that had to have been, I'm looking it up because I'm kind of curious. That had to have been like 1 or 2 years before at most.
I'd like to say so.
RoboCop movie. Oh, RoboCop was 87?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I thought it was earlier than that.
Same. Okay, that's my bad.
No, that's okay. I thought so too. That's really bizarre, actually. Huh. Yeah, I'm not really sure, like I don't know how many. You're probably right, Mike. Honestly, it's probably like spaghetti westerns and, like Dirty Harry, stuff like that that
Right.
you can think of.
Right. Right.
I don't know what that is.
I know.
Yeah, that's some spam right there. But I guess like the main question, because we've dug into it a lot.
Right.
I guess the main question that needs answered is, does it deserve the claim? Yeah.
Yeah, like the title of the stream, like, was it that good?
Yeah. Was it that good? Was Raiders of the Lost Ark as good or that good, referring to the acclaim it gets? Was Raiders of the Lost Ark that good?
So I'm going to answer this, and I think it's the only fair way to answer this because we weren't born in 81 when this came out. I mean, I was born in 1990. What about yourself?
99.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So so I mean, I was 9 years older. 9 years later, I was born. Right, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, even if I was a kid, I wouldn't have been shown this until maybe I was like 9, 10 years old. So you needed 2000s at that point.
Right.
So I think the only fair way for us to answer this question, I mean, tell me if you agree or disagree, because it's your stream at the end of the day, is looking at this in a lens of how we watched it now. Because, we've talked about other movies from the 70s and 80s that still hold up now, which would definitely be, was that good? Yes. For me, I would say no. Not a bad no, not a one where it's diabolical. I don't get how it got any hype at all.
Right.
Because again, we both said in the stream, just to clarify for anyone who's maybe taken away from the negatives here, like we still enjoyed the movie, we still had an entertaining time.
Yeah.
But looking at the from our perspectives and just those big gaping holes we've made fun of, which is so true though,
Yeah.
is that for me does not hold up completely. So my answer would be no.
I think that's a really fair answer that might make some people mad, but I'm going to have to agree with you. Yeah, I think you're right. Even if you just said like, okay, those glaring issues, we're just going to put those to the side and just hone in on like how like it just holds up as like a movie today, not paying attention to any plot issues or anything, I still would say no. I don't think like I think part of the grading on this has to be like, from the perspective of someone maybe born in like 2010, right? Where
Right.
like they're like it's even more disconnected, from kind of like that time and like the progression of movies.
Yeah.
I just can't see them watching that and saying, wow, like they don't make movies like that anymore. Like, like you would about some older action movies. Like I watch Alien or Aliens, I'm blown away. I'm like, this is insane. This is amazing, and I feel like if I purely look at it that way, it wasn't wasn't that good, but we enjoyed it. I think we both appreciate it for what it was, but I'd have to agree with you. If I had to answer that question, it wouldn't be the first movie I'm trying to get my kid to watch.
No. So man,
Yeah.
it's cool to know that we both agree though. On the first episode, we both agree with no.
Yeah, I honestly I kind of thought we were gonna disagree. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was just curious how it was going to land. But definitely, if you guys are watching live after the fact, let us know in the comment section if you agree with us or you disagree. And if you do disagree, let us know why.
Yeah, definitely let us know why. I want to know why. I want to hear the perspectives because I'm sure people have pretty strong opinions about it. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, you got anything else to add? Otherwise, we're gonna wrap, man.
Nah, I think I'm good. I think we both agree. I do want to just quickly mention. I know I mentioned top of the stream, but very quickly, just want to add in like John Williams scores great. Throughout the whole thing, it's just classic theme song of Indiana Jones, right? Everyone knows it, but throughout, like the music helped keep the movie afloat a bit more as well.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. The score was timeless, basically. I mean, a lot of things about the movie were, right?
Right.
I mean, it definitely holds up in a lot of ways, and it's super enjoyable and it's fun to watch. But we're digging in. We're being critical. That's all.
I think you got to be. You got to be though.
Or else it'd be boring. Be like, oh, great movie.
Right.
Um,
Right.
well, Mike, what do you got going on, man? Do you have anything
Yeah.
coming up? People should check you out your channel for.
Yeah, of course. Well, first, man, thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. I really hope we do more episodes because I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks,
Um,
man.
yeah, of course, man. So coming up, yeah. So I dropped a review. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Sorry, I dropped a review of Shelby Oak, Chris Tuckman's brand new movie.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, so my review for that's on the channel. Spoiler free, but I would say if you haven't seen it, go see the movie first and maybe hop onto the review. And then this weekend, I'll be going to see Back to the Future for its 40th anniversary. I'm going to see it in IMAX and 4DX.
oh,
Um,
man, I'm jealous. That's
I,
awesome.
I had to. I had to. So I'm
Yeah,
going to do two separate reviews for the same movie, but in those experiences and talk about, was it worth that money or was it worth just seeing it at home or just in a regular format screening, really. Um, and I think for now, that's about it, really. Yeah. What about
that's a
yourself?
lot. Yeah. Definitely before I go into that, just check out Mike at Did You See That on YouTube. Mike, you're super consistent. You're always going to deliver all the time, and you do a good job. And I am going to check out that Shelby Oaks review. I'm very curious about how that did. I did not see it yet, so
Okay.
very curious about it. Been what we both I think watched Stuckman for, oh God, I probably watched him for over 10 years now too. So yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be interesting. For me, I'm currently trying to get in shape. So there are a
Yeah.
bunch of workout streams coming up. It's been really nice. Got like my own little home gym going. So being a little more consistent on that. Definitely subscribe just to see some shorts. I just upload random shorts sometimes. And some movie reviews coming down the pike as well. But Mike, thank you again, man. I had a blast. I think this was a really cool idea. So I hope we do it again, man.
Yeah, man, anytime, anytime. And I do want to clarify that was Harry's idea for this stream as well in this segment, not mine. I know you said it was both ours, but it was Harry's. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I definitely look forward to the next one. I'll be curious what you pick next.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it. Thanks again, man. All right, everybody. See
See
ya.
you guys.